Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today I have basically, it's a commercial grade drain cleaning machine. So that give you an idea. It is a little bit of a heavier box, so keep that in mind. So let's open it up, and I have a shower that is at the, the first floor of my house, and it tends to back up a little bit, probably because has like a lot of soap and suds and stuff built up in that line. So I've tried like Drano and everything else, and it just wasn't getting the job done. So I got this, hoping that I can do that and clean the rest of the drains in my house. Since my house is quite a number of years old, we figured that would probably be the best thing for that. Looks like I'm gonna have to destroy this box to get this out. So. Oh, comes with a pair of gloves. That's the instruction manual. So that's pretty cool. So it's got some wheels, parts kit, and then the machine itself. So I think I'm gonna flip this on its side here. That comes wrapped rather well. Okay, so I'm just looking at the switch here. So I'll give you some close-ups when we're inside, but 0 is off, then 1 is forward, and then the other side, 2, is reverse up there. So that is the wall plug. I'm just trying to read some amps on this if I can see that. So that is 15 amps, so you can run that in a regular wall outlet. And then this is your foot pedal that activates a switch for you, so you can keep your hands working. So let's get this untied here. Okay, it looks like this probably wraps around this when we're done. So that's up out of the way. Same thing with the cord. You can wrap that around here. So it makes transporting this a lot easier. So let's get this off the cardboard. So let's get the parts and the directions. That's one wheel. Second wheel. Then you got your accessory kit. So you got a bunch of different heads on here. And then you have the 2 nuts that are probably going to be for the wheels. And axle, found it in the box in the styrofoam, so definitely keep an eye out for that for sure. So I'll just slide that axle through. Okay, then wheel on each side. And I'm just looking for some washers. I don't see any in there. So let's just get this wheel nuts out. All right, so the wheel nuts are 17 millimeters, just so you can have the right socket for that. So using a ratchet and a 17mm wrench on the other side. All right, so it looks like that's nice and tight. So that's good. Then there are a bunch of different little tips on here that you can use. So I'm curious of which one. I think I'm probably going to use this one. So let's open that up. So I'll probably find a little accessory bag or something to put all these little pieces in. But it looks like it has a little screw and an Allen key. So I'll figure out something to put on here. Wish it would have came with it, but that's okay. So the workings of this, let's go through the manual and see what we got going on. I love that it comes with a pair of gloves. That's awesome. Never have enough pair of gloves. Okay, so kind of like all the quick little things. Raise for the handle, the axle, working of that. And I guess we got to kind of wing that. Let me grab some electric. Then I guess this raises up. Has 2 bolts and a wing nut, so easy to get the handle up and definitely hold it in place. So I guess there is, looks like there's 2 set points on here. So we're just gonna put the highest one on the other side. And again, wing nuts make it easy to take care of when you're on the road, in the field, or storage at your job site, your home, your garage. So that's good. Let's get this undone. That's a foot pedal, but for demonstration purposes, we will set it up here. The electric we'll put around through the back. So we'll connect that into the electric. All right. So that is forward. And I just noticed it does have an on and off switch right at the plug mount. So that's pretty good and useful. All right, put the wires around there. And again, so that is going to make that come in and out. All right, so this is kind of like the disconnect and the connect, so that will leave tension on it. So obviously that's what feeds it out. And we're gonna stop that, turn it off. So again, I'm gonna put this head on there and we just put that in through there. And then we just tighten it down with the provided Allen key and the nut. Okay. And definitely want to make this on the snug side. And then I like how it is a flexible head on there. So really cool. And again, step on that. Oh, see, forgot about the switch. And then that will feed itself out. Very cool. And then again, put it into step 2. And then I'll wind it back for you. Super easy. Okay, so there you go. Very good. And then if you have a hot spot that you need to work on, you can tighten that down, but otherwise that will basically cool it out and going back and forth. So very cool, very cool. I like how that operates. Nice and smooth. Locks in. By the way, let's go inside, check out my shower drain, and then we'll get this going through there, and then we go from there. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we are by my shower. I'm going to get the 2 screws out of the drain first. Kind of tight in here, but you can see the machine behind me. I'm probably going to keep the foot pedal more operating with my hands over here on that side, so you can kind of like see exactly what we're doing. And I'm going to be using a magnet to help catch the screws as I do them from the drain. Second one, just lift that drain up, and you can see all the gook that is in there. So we're going to set this to forward, which is number 1 on the dial. Alright, so you got to kind of like, you have it forward and reverse on this as well, which makes it a little bit easier, more convenient. So we're going to keep that out. And I wish the cord was a little bit longer, the electrical cord. I mean, it barely fits, so it gives me a weird angle on this. But let's get some more out. Alright, we start getting it down the drain. Okay, so we have quite a bit of line through there, so now we are going to work on pulling this back in. So I'm going to turn that and then put that in reverse. And I'll start turning and pulling itself in. And you can kind of see how slow this goes, but it's good. And like I said, we probably went about 20 or 30 feet out. Alright, there we go. So not too much sludge that came back out, but it was enough that we know that we cleaned it. So I'm going to clean this surface part of this drain, put it back together again. But anyway, what a great machine. Anyway, Brad from Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.